A very good morning to all. Today let's start this class with a new chapter, chapter number 25, and the name of the chapter is Rural and Urban Livelihood. So here what do you understand by livelihood? Livelihood means the job or other income that provides money to buy the necessary things. So today we are going to start with this chapter, that is Rural and Urban Livelihood. But before that, let's have a look at the big idea. So these are the topics that we will be discussing in this chapter, and they are types of occupations, farming, non-farming occupations, rural indebtedness, government initiatives, urban livelihood, different types of employment, migration. And here you can see at a glance types of occupations which are divided into three categories, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. So here in the Newsmaker you can see the picture of Nilima Mishra. She is a social worker who won the award, that is the Raman Magsaysay Award, and she also founded the Bhagini Nivedita Gramin Vigyan Niketan. It's an organization that helps the poor women to live their livelihood, and it also provides computer literacy and also trains the small scale businesses to market their products. So this was about Nilima Mishra, who is a social worker. Kids, you all know that in India we have many villages, towns and cities, and people, they are engaged in various forms of rural and urban jobs. So in this chapter we will be discussing about the types of occupation. So what do you understand by this term occupation? Occupation means a job or profession. So based on the type of works, the occupations are divided into three categories, and they are primary occupations, secondary occupations and the tertiary occupation. So first we will discuss about the primary occupations. Here it includes the activities in which we get raw materials from natural environment. So here the agriculture and activities related to agriculture, it makes the primary occupation, and other activities are farming, mining, quarrying. Here quarrying means digging ground to extract stone or other materials. Then we have the forestry, wood cutting, fishing, dairy and poultry farming, and then the animal husbandry. So this is primary occupation. Now the second category is secondary occupation, and it consists of activities that converts the raw material into final products. For example, biscuit factory needs wheat and other raw material from the primary sector, and other examples of secondary occupations are textile industries, steel plants and ready-made food industry. So this was about the secondary occupation. Now the third category is the tertiary occupation. Here it consists of activities and services that helps the working of primary occupation as well as secondary occupation. For example, services like transport, communication, trade, banking and insurance, teaching and law and healthcare. So these are the three types of occupation. They are primary occupation, secondary occupation and tertiary occupation. Next, let's discuss some of the means of livelihood in rural area. So you all know that rural area means the village area, and you all know that India is an agricultural country where most of the people, they live in village and they do the primary occupation. So let's discuss the means of livelihood in rural area. So here the first one is farming. As you all know that most of the people who live in village, they are farmers, and here farming includes activities like sowing, weeding and harvesting. So typically in villages you can see big landlords, small farmers and landless laborers. So there are different categories of farmers in the rural area. They are the big farmers. So here the big farmers are the rich farmers who own large tracts of land, and they also use different modern technologies for cultivation like the tractor, threshers. So thresher is a machine that is used to separate the husk from the grain, and they also use high quality seed and high quality fertilizers, and their crop yield is also very high. And they also cultivate cash crops. They sell it to the market to make huge profit. Now these rich farmers, they do not work on their land. Instead of that, they hire small farmers and landless laborers to work on their field. Now the next category is of medium farmers. Here the middle farmers, they grow crops that meet their survival or subsistence needs. That means to fulfill their daily needs. These middle farmers, they grow crops such as wheat, barley, corn, pulses. And in India, about 80% of the farmers, they belong to this group. And farmers, they also form groups and associations which is known as cooperatives to protect their common interest. Here they collectively produce and sell their produce in the market, and also helps each other in times of needs. So this was about the middle farmer or the medium farmer. Next one is the marginal farmers. So here the marginal farmers are those farmers who works on the field of other farmers, and usually they are unable to meet their needs, and usually their wages or salaries are in the form of kind. That is, for working in the field they get grain instead of salary, and that is why they borrow money at very high interest from the money lenders when there is no work, and they also look for other occupations in order to survive. And many of them, they also move to the towns and cities in search of job, and there many of them work as daily wagers such as rickshaw pullers, domestic helpers and vegetable vendors. And the government has also introduced many schemes and programs to improve the condition of these marginal farmers. Besides farming, people also follow other occupation in rural areas like weavers, potters, blacksmiths, carpenters, masons, barbers, artisans and so on. And some people also collect firewood, fruits, herb, honey from the forest and sell it to the traders. Another important means of livelihood of the people living near the seashore and rivers is fishing. Here men go in boats to catch fish and they sell it in the mandis, and the traders who have shops in the cities, they come here to the mandis to buy fish. So this was about fishing. And another important means of livelihood of the people living in rural area is animal husbandry. So here animal husbandry means rearing and keeping livestock for use and for sale. And here it's dairy farming, which is another form of animal husbandry that is focused on producing milk, and this milk is used for making other dairy products. And in many villages, the villagers also form milk cooperatives to protect their common interest. For example, the Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation, that is the Amul brand, it buy milk from the villagers and sell it in the city. It also makes sure that the villagers get fair price for the milk. So this was about the dairy farming. Now another form of animal husbandry is the poultry farming, which raises domesticated birds such as chicken, ducks, turkey and geese to produce meat and egg for food. So this was about the means of livelihood of the people living in rural areas. Next, you have an activity. The question is, talk about the White Revolution in India in the year 1970, given in page number 213. You have to record it and submit the voice clip in Teams. That's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you.